All right, so we are Sweet Tea and Thread, and we're coming to you today from miles apart. Bethany's down in Florence. I'm up here in Tennessee, where I live. I've said before, I live about 45 minutes from the store. So we're doing our social distancing. Oh,
sadly, but yes.
But yeah. So this is episode, I think, 15.
I think so.
Yeah.
You want me to check?
But anyway, I'm Shay.
And I'm Bethany. Thank you so much for joining us again. Like we said, it's kind of different because we're social distancing right now, but we hope that you'll still enjoy this more casual way of podcasting.
Yes.
I figure we'll be very casual today. So, and if you like this video, then give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below telling us what you're up to. What are you making? I'd like to know, what are you busy making? Because a lot of people have extra time on their hands and they're able to get a lot of stuff done that they weren't otherwise. I have a project I'll show a little bit later that's kind of come about since I have more time on my hands. So
that's right. Yeah. I'm kind of getting more things done, things that I've let lag and moved on to other things. But, well, do we want to start with some finished objects?
We can, but let me expose myself really quickly.
Okay.
Speaking of getting more stuff done, I have actually gotten into a better routine. Now, typically when I get up in the day, like in the mornings, I'm usually out of the house within 30 minutes. I don't really spend a lot of time at home, or if I do, I'm in my room and like on my bed, and it's usually not made. I've actually gotten the habit of making my bed.
Good. Yay, you.
It seems like such like I mean, it's a skill that everybody should have, that they should do in the mornings. But just because of how my life has been the past couple of years, and the fact that, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I'm lazy. But stuff like that. I've been reading more. That's another thing. I've just been reading more for pleasure. Like actually carving out time for that kind of thing. So,
yeah. That's good. Alrighty. Well, I have a couple of finished projects. I finished the Kari Shawl. Let me see if I can get it up here. Tassels and everything. So I'm real pleased with it. It knit up great. I did use the Russian bind off to cast off on this, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate if I can get it on here. But
the way that looks.
Yeah, I love it. I love the color of it. I love the way it feels. I did a little braided detail at the top of my tassel instead of just stopping at the at the top of the tassel to tie it on. And I made smaller tassels than I did for the little crocheted shawl that I did, my first triangular shawl. I put tassels in that also. But this is going to be great. This yarn, after blocking it and everything, is nice and squishy and soft, being, all garter stitch. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it looks really good. I wish I could be there in person to squish it and feel it.
Hopefully, maybe it won't be a whole lot longer before we can have it down at the shop.
Yeah.
So, but I've got that, and then I've got a crocheted. It's a little baby blanket. So we have these kits at the shop. They come like this. They've got a little animal and your ball of yarn. It's called Hug This. And so they have the patterns online at, I think it's dmc.com. Here's the little teddy bear that goes with this one. They have one pattern that's a crochet pattern. And so I thought we might have some crocheters coming into the shop and say, oh, well, it's all knitted and not crochet. So I thought I'd do one of those up. And I actually used a larger hook. The kit calls for a G, and I went up to an I. So I made it a little bit bigger. I think it says the finished measurement is supposed to be 23 by 28. And I made it 28 by 28. And I still had yarn left over. So, but I wanted it to be just a little more drapey. I started out with a G and tried that out. And I just wanted it to be a little drapier. So I went with a bigger hook. And I was real pleased with the way this worked up in the crochet. It was an interesting pattern. I learned a new stitch that I had not ever seen before, really. An extended single crochet. So that was fun. But, when you get ready to gift it, you can wrap it up and put it in little teddy bear's arms and put it in a cute little bag to be gifted, like those cellophane bags, I think, with a ribbon on top. I think would be really cute.
Really cute.
Yeah, to do it up that way. So that's my finished projects. How about you?
I have no finished projects.
No finished projects.
No.
You've been working on a lot of stuff, though. I know.
Well, and I started this other thing. That distracted me. I'm almost done.
Can we say squirrel?
Bethany has had her squirrel moment. No, but I'm almost done with the body of it, and I can do the sleeves next.
It looks like it goes really fast.
It does, yeah.
All right, we can move on to what's on our needles then, and we'll let you start.
Okay, you want me to show what I'm working on?
Sure.
I'll just pick it up and.
Yeah, I want to see the progress. Ooh, that's looking so good. Yeah, last time I saw it, you were just barely below where you split for the arms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I love it.
So, cool. Yeah, this is the Pouf Sweater by Beata from Hedgehog Fibers. I have her pattern right here. So this is what the finished sweater will look like. It is cropped. I'm getting it cropped because I think I'll probably wear it over wear it with high-waisted jeans.
Yeah.
But, the way that this is worked, it's top down. It's a raglan, and you're stranding two strands of fingering weight together. So you're supposed to use like speckles and kind of like the variegated yarns to give it an interesting look. I've seen people do it with solids and like tonals, and it looks interesting that way. I mean, you can still do it, but so anyway, I'm down here at the ribbing, and I'm making.
You're at the ribbing?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's 2 inches of ribbing, and I've already got like an inch of ribbing.
Wow. That's fantastic.
So, I'll go ahead and say the yarns that I'm using. Some of these are mine that I've dyed, and we've had them at the shop before. Some of them aren't. And then one of them we do have at the shop on a different base. So you could still use it in this sweater though, because it's fingering. So this top portion of it right here, I use 2 strands of my typewriter keys color. This was on the original sock base that we had at the store, which we're not carrying anymore, but I mean, I have this color. I've dyed it on several different bases before. It's kind of one of my favorites. Then this right here, this little patch that you see kind of the golds and the purples. This was actually a skein that I had in my stash for a while from Q Loco. And I don't remember what base it was, but I think the color was All the Feels. I don't know if she still carries that, but I stranded this with Silver Fox, which was my yarn. Then down here a little bit further, I have Legacy Fiber Arts in Lily Pad. So that's that kind of bright, neon-y. Again, I stranded it with Silver Fox because I wanted to kind of tone it down a little bit, just so it wasn't as bright. Then we move in about here, Lily Pad and Hedgehog Fibers Fool's Gold. Now we do have Fool's Gold on Hedgehog Fibers single base at the shop. This, I believe, was a sock base that I had in my stash, but the singles is also a fingering and it would work really well with this sweater, especially since you're stranding it.
Right.
Then I moved down into stranding it with Fool's Gold is stranded with my yarn again in the graffiti color. And then the graffiti color I stranded with, I believe I decided this one was going to be called Old Denim. And then just Old Denim with itself. So yeah, I'm on the ribbing.
Wow. It's beautiful colors. It really is.
I made the size extra large and I actually went down a needle size and I didn't take gauge. I decided
to live dangerously.
Yeah, I decided to live a little bit dangerously on this one. So I'm using my Licca interchangeables. These are the indigo colors that they have. And the size, where's my size? I'm using a 5. So it called for a 6. I went up a size in the sweater and down a size in the needle because I wanted it to be, I was kind of in between the large and extra large. Like I could have worn the large and I would have been fine. And I felt like the extra large might have been a little too loose, but I still wanted kind of more of a loose fit. So I just went down a needle size and went up a sweater size. And it's probably going to be a loose fit. Like this isn't going to fit me like it fits her. It might fit me a little bit looser, but it's still not supposed to be a super tight.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I love these sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the sleeves. That's where the poop comes in.
Yeah. I like those sleeves too.
So I have all of my yarn in here. In my little bento bag I made a while back. But yeah, I mean, it's a great stash buster because you should see, I have basically a tote bag full of finger weight yarn that I've dyed. It's just sitting here. It needs to be made into something.
Yeah. Well, you picked a great pattern to do up some of those with.
Yeah, and she has a cardigan version, which I might do. I might do that one next, and I may use. I have a ton of this. This is my pink sherbet color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I may do it pretty much all in pink sherbet, and then add in that on the bottom.
That's pretty. Yeah.
Or I have this, which has a little bit more pink in it. I don't know if those colors are really showing up. But this, I may do something more like this.
Yeah. That would be great.
So, but yeah. But anyway, I'm still going to have so much yarn left over. I need to.
Well, that's the way it goes when you got a stash and you hadn't been doing anything with it. You've been knitting stuff. We've both been knitting stuff from the store, so haven't been really using what we've had at home.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I have on the needles, I did finish the front of the Discovery Poncho from Heidie and Lana.
That looks so
So,
good.
yeah, I'm real pleased with it. This yarn has worked up really well. It's it's a fingering weight yarn, and I'm using a size 7 needle. So got that done finally at last, and I have started the back. So I'm almost done with the bottom ribbing, or well, it's a seat stitch really. So that's where I am on that, and I have blocked the shame, so ready for it stitched together. Having so much time at home, I keep having to look at it, so I'm thinking let's just go ahead and get that finished. But I got started on this first, and that'll be my next project because I'd like to go ahead and get this one finished, then get that one finished. Then I'm kind of back on track and can start something new. I'm not letting myself start something new. I have 2 sweater quantities of yarn, and I still we talked several podcasts ago about there were 2 sweaters that I was considering doing. I had planned to do, it was a sweater out of one of the making magazines, and I've forgotten now what the name of it was. And then Pohi put out the cedar sweater, and I just love it. And I decided, and I asked, which one do you think, I should do? And cedar won out. So, so I want to get that one cast on because I'm doing it out of Hampton from Cascade Yarns, and it's a cotton linen blend. So it'll be great for this spring, and since it's a DK weight, so it should work up fairly quickly, I think, and plenty of time to be able to wear it because we have cool days through the 1st of June or so. We have.
And it should work up really quickly because this is a DK sweater. Basically, you hold 2 strands of fingering, but that makes pretty much DK weight.
Right.
You know how fast this has gone for me.
Right.
In a week. Like I probably started this on Monday.
Yeah.
I can look at my Ravelry page to make sure, but
yeah. Well, that cedar, it's a solid, but it's almost a little bit stripy because every few rows you do an eyelet row, it looks like, and then at the bottom, kind of like the Tanya from Boylan Knitworks, it has a little lacy edge on it. But I think it's going to work out really, really pretty in that Hampton. So I'm anxious to get started with that. And then I've got a sweater quantity that I was planning to do a weekender. I'm doing that out of Barocco Remix. So I think I'm going to use the Barocco Remix for something. I think it's going to be a weekender unless I see something else that changes my mind.
I think it should be a weekender because that's a really pretty classic sweater. And that Barocco has kind of a tweedy look.
Yes.
It would look really good with that sweater pattern.
Yeah.
So, well, I have two other knitting things to show. Okay. Did you have anything else?
Nope, that's all I have today. I didn't see if there was any point in showing the Deshane. It doesn't look any different from the last time I showed it. Just that it's been blocked. And I was telling you I was was trying to decide how to block it. It's linen. It's flax linen. My iron, and I even actually touched the iron to it, but I just did and that helped to uncurl those edges better than, because I tried just steaming it, and then I actually put the iron down on it.
Yeah.
And it worked out great. It didn't harm it in any way. And I had a couple of dresses that were linen fabric and I would wash them in the washer, dry them in the dryer, and then press them because I wanted that, washed linen look anyway. And I'm planning to throw this in the washer and dryer. So I thought, it's not going to hurt it. It's not like it's acrylic or,
Yeah, acrylic would have burned.
Yeah. Melted, maybe?
Melted. It would have been good.
Yeah. It would not have been a good thing. So, yeah. So that worked out great to do that. So I'm real excited about getting that done and getting those sleeves in. Because I think those sleeves aren't they like 3/4 length sleeves or maybe even a little?
I think if I'm remembering correctly, they are more of a 3/4 length. So those should go really quickly.
Right. And I don't know that there's that much shaping to them either.
Probably not.
Because it's supposed to be pretty much kind of loosely shaped. I mean, it's a boxy shaped sweater anyway, so I don't think that they're going to have too much shaping on those sleeves.
Yeah. Actually, I might have 3 things to show.
Okay, good.
We showed the I'll get to that in a minute. I don't think we showed something on the podcast last time.
Okay.
So this is my other squirrel moment before the sweater.
Pretty.
This is Dotted by Stephen West, and the yarn that I'm using is Big Sky yarn. It's her Star Sock, and I think the color is called that one. The one that I should be working on is the Nightshift. The last time we showed, we originally had what we had originally picked out for it. We didn't like the colors. It was like earth and some of the yarn that I dyed, and it wasn't working. My yarn was a bit too bright, and the earth was more muted tones. And so we went with Plymouth Moon Shadow.
I think that's working up so pretty.
So I'm basically just following the pattern for the stitch count. I'm not following it for the color repeat. The way I'm doing the color repeat is the orange goes with the cream background. Then when I switch to the blue, I work the first little set of the single color work portion on the original background before switching to its background, which is this kind of brownish gray. And then when I switch to the yellow, I do the exact same thing. So you can kind of see this is more of a brownish gray. Here's the single color work section. And then I immediately switch to the gray background that the yellow actually goes with. And I'll repeat another full section of the yellow color work before I head into the orange and then transition the orange into its background. But yeah, I'll try to update the project page about it.
Yeah. And we have a knit along going on with the Nightshift, the shawl, and the cow, but it's just kind of suspended right now since we can't really get together to have a cast-off party. So under the circumstances, we just kind of put that on the back burner for the moment.
Yeah, so continue working on your shawls if you were working on it with us, or your cows if you were doing the cow, like keep working on those, and we'll figure out what we're going to do about ending it officially and when that's going to be, when all of this kind of blows over.
I think that Moon Shadow is a really a beautiful yarn.
Oh, it is so soft. Like, I know I've mentioned that like 10 times already, but
yeah, and that's from Plymouth Yarn Company. So
yeah, so I need to get back to working on that pretty soon. But the sweater distracted me, and the pink shawl distracted me.
It's easy to get distracted. Ask me how I know.
But the last thing that I had started, and we didn't show in last week's podcast because started it and then just kind of was like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. I don't want to knit on it. It's going to take a while because it's lace weight yarn.
Yeah.
But this is a paid for pattern. So I'll just show you this right here so that I'm not giving away anything. This is just the description of it. I'm working on the bias before and after scarf by Church Mouse. It's really cool. It's called the before and after because you knit it with a lace weight yarn and it kind of looks ugly before you block it. After you block it, it looks beautiful. So this is how far I've gotten. It's so sad. You do a provisional cast on with this, and you'll finish it the same way you bind off at the end so that both of them are the same, which I thought was really interesting about this pattern. And the pattern is really straightforward. Like, it's easy to follow, and I'm using, I think, a size 6 needle. I'm actually using for this one the Chalgu lace tip.
Yeah.
Love if I'm using a metal needle, I use Chalgu lace tips. These are my needles of choice. I love the cord. It doesn't really have a lot of memory to it, so it's not super stiff. And I love a good point on my needles. Like, I can't stand blunt needles. I can't knit with blunt needles.
Yeah.
And especially with this yarn, it helps because it's lace yarn, the lace tip. But still, it's a little fiddly. I'm not used to it yet, and I kind of think this is my project that's going to teach me patience. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for patience, but it's teaching me patience.
Yeah.
Never ask for patience. Never pray for patience.
Exactly.
That's always a joke that we don't pray for patience. You can struggle through them.
You are so right.
But
yeah. If you pray for that, you'll have a lot of things that have to exercise patience.
So we don't pray for patience and we don't ask for patience. And yet, here's my patience project. Actually, if I post anything on Instagram updating about this or sharing about it, I may just hashtag it the patience project. And we can start the trend. What is your patience project?
Yeah. There you go.
Share it on Instagram and make the hashtag go viral. The patience project.
There you go. Yeah. That would probably do it. Because then people would say, well, what do you do to get more patience?
But that's all the knitting stuff that I have, other than I wanted to share how I organize my patterns.
Okay.
But I want to share this first because this is technically a work in progress.
Okay.
So you've seen this, and anybody that watched an Instagram live that we did a couple of days ago or about a week ago would have seen this. But why not share it on the podcast?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not a quilter. But yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, Kate had a bunch of scraps at the store that she didn't really want to do anything with, and she gave them to me, and I went to town. I mean, we have several blocks made, and we have a stack of the fabric waiting to be sewn into the blocks. I have 2 more stacks of this downstairs. Like, it's so much fabric. I did not realize at the time. I haven't worked on this in a couple of days, but I kind of feel like I need to sew something. I'm in a sewing mood, and while I would love to make summer clothes for me, clothes for my summer wardrobe, but I don't have like fabric for it. The only thing I do have is projects that need to be finished, but I don't want to finish at this. So if I need a sewing project in the next couple of days, I think I'm just going to go downstairs to our sewing room and try to put a couple of these blocks together because they go together really quickly.
Yeah.
Now that I have everything, like I did the first set of sewing and they were 9 patches, and then Kate told me, oh, cut them like this and this, and then turn them, flip them around, and they're disappearing 9 patches. Like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I love a disappearing 9 patch.
Let me reiterate, I am not a quilter. What am I doing?
That's all right.
It's funny. I came home and I'm like, Mom, something happened today at work. And I really don't know what it was, but this happened. And she just started laughing. And I just, because the other day I went down to the basement and cut up a bunch of my scraps and made a mini quilt. And I'm like, who are you? I don't know anymore. I'm bored and it's causing me to, I guess, explore different crafts, which isn't a bad thing. I'm enjoying it, but don't expect me to make a quilt for you. That ain't gonna happen.
I think it looks like a lot of fun.
It is when I'm in the right mood.
Right.
So.
And it's nice to have something to go to and have a break from, because I think you're like me in that we consider knitting our first love kind of thing. But it's nice to know those other crafts so you can do something else and take a complete break from knitting, especially as much knitting as we've been doing lately. Well, the last 2 years since we've had yarn at the store. It's been a whirlwind of knitting samples and that kind of thing. So, yeah. It's nice to take a little break and do something entirely different. Anyway, all right. Anything else you got to share or want to say? Or
well, the last thing was I was going to show you how I organize my patterns.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I don't print off a lot of my patterns. I say that, and you'll see this binder I have, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, she doesn't." Oh,
I want to not print off all my patterns, but then I get tired of looking at a screen. To look at that. I mean, it's like all of a sudden, my eyes are just like I can't look at this anymore. So it's a little easier for me with a printed page.
Yeah. But these are all the ones I still have to file away.
Mm-hmm.
I just decided to go on Ravelry one day and get really excited and print off a bunch of stuff. But I have all of them nicely organized in here. And all labeled. So I have one empty one. It's ready for something else. But I have shawls, sweaters, hats, socks, scarves and cowls, gloves, and so I don't put these in sheet protectors. I found that to be super fiddly and I didn't like it. So I just have them printed off and hole punched.
Okay.
And anything that kind of comes on a card or a little booklet on its own, like this that came with one of the Appalachian Baby kits that I knit from, these sleeve protectors or these dividers have a little pocket that I just So I've got to go through and put a bunch of stuff in there, but for the most part this has kept me pretty organized. And most of these I've already knit, so I haven't had to go take one of these out to knit a pair of socks or a sweater or whatever it is that I'm working on. But a few of them I haven't knit yet. So before I go on Ravelry, I probably should look in my book and be like, oh, what can I find in here, and then pick from there. But I had patterns scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
And every little nook and cranny and in my various places of knitting stash, which I'm trying to kind of consolidate down to 2 areas.
Right.
But yeah, that kind of helped me get more organized. I'm still on an organizing kick. I haven't stopped since January.
Good.
I still want to clean out and get organized. And now I have plenty of time to do that.
Exactly. And I'm really sorry about the social distancing, because I would say anytime you want to, take a little trip, you can come and help me do some of those same things. So, but all right, I guess that's it for this time around. I'm going to steal from a little meme that I saw. I'm in La Porta Backyardia. It ended up, we've had like 2 or 3 really nice days, because we've had rain after rain after rain. And so I've been taking advantage and trying to sit out on the patio and get a little sunshine instead of just being, locked in the house all the time. So that's been kind of nice. And today I am having tea.
I'm not.
So you're not.
I forgot.
I started to text you and say, "Oh, get you some tea." But
you should have.
I should have. The tea I'm having today is again, it's from David's Tea. It's Happy Valley Darjeeling, and it's really nice. I usually like a heavier, more full bodied. Really, I like black tea. That's my favorite. Hot tea, not real strong, but I don't want just colored water either. So, but Darjeeling, is a lighter tea, a little more delicate tea. But it's this Happy Valley is very nice. So I've enjoyed it. So that's what I got.
Yep. Darjeeling's about the only tea that I'll drink without sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like an herbal tea, and then sometimes I'll drink that with either no sugar or very little sugar. But yeah, it is a really good tea.
All righty. Well, I guess we will say goodbye and wish everybody safety and stay healthy. And again, as Bethany said earlier, let us know what you're working on. Bethany and I have video chatted a couple of times, just sat and talked while we were knitting. We are going to do next Tuesday, we're going to do our knit night again. We usually just do that twice a month, but in this situation, everybody's home. We thought we'd give that a go. We had a meeting last week, and we're going to do one this Tuesday, 5 to 7, on Zoom. Mm-hmm. And we will be posting the code for that meeting on our thread website. And so if you're interested in joining us for that, it would be wonderful. We would welcome you with open arms.
Yeah. The more the merrier.
Yes, always.
We love seeing everybody, seeing what they're working on, and the Zoom meeting can host up to 100 people, which I think would be overwhelming, but it would still be
a lot of flipping back and forth to catch, but it'll be worth it. It really is worth it. So, but anyway, all right. Well, I guess we will sign off, and I will talk to you later, Bethany.
Okay. Bye.